Okay, I'm gonna start introducing my next guest because I have a lot to say. Okay, so we have today live with Sergio ZEKU Garcia. He's a breakdancer, model, has appeared in music videos. The recent one is, I believe, We Will Win by Pitbull. So good. I saw it. It's so good. He's also an entrepreneur with multiple businesses, including his breaking facility in Sur Gym, Miami, where he teaches and trains the youth as well as mentoring some of the top upcoming talent in Miami, Florida. He's sponsored by Monster. And he has taken breakdance to Sweden, Bogota, that's where I'm from, Amsterdam, Paris, New York City, LA, Atlanta, Texas, Washington, Las Vegas, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Philadelphia, Chicago, Massachusetts, Belgium, Japan, name it. He has probably broke dance in your city as well. Wouldn't be surprised. Okay, let's bring you on so people can keep connecting.
What's up? What's
Hi.
up?
Oh my God, nice to meet you.
How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you today?
Doing good, doing good. Chilling.
How old are you?
I'm
Please tell
21.
me how old. I can't
21.
believe it. I
Yeah, I'm
can't believe
21.
it. I don't know anybody that has worked as hard as you have. That is absolutely insane. I did my research. You've done so much. You have your
Appreciate
own
it.
gym. That's crazy. I cannot wait. Let's start at the beginning. When did you start breakdancing?
Um, I always kind of danced as a kid. I just didn't know like the right terminology for it. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I could always
Uh-huh.
kind of like spin on my head. Like I was spinning on my head since I was like 4, maybe. I would just kind of figure it out. And then I kind of grew up playing sports, and I would dance here and there, but it wasn't something that I would do all the time. And then once I hit like 12, I believe, I saw You Got Served. I don't know if you're familiar with that movie.
Of
Yeah.
course, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I saw that movie and I was like, oh, that's it. Like, this is what I want to do. And like, this is my career path. Like, this is really what I want to do. And I saw it with my best friend. His name is Fusion. And we grew up
Hmm.
together. And that day we just started dancing from there on.
Is that where Future Force Crew came about? Is that who you started with?
Um, Yeah, well, I started off again, like I said, with my best friend. It was two of us. It was Fusion and Wings, and
Mhm.
then I think like a year into me breaking, uh,
Mhm.
Future Force ended up picking me up, and they kind of mentored me, and they helped guide me, and take a positive route, and not allow me to get involved with things I shouldn't have gotten involved with within the breaking community. So they did a really good job with that.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, I don't even know. I didn't even know Miami had breakdance, like a breakdance community. I had no idea until I started looking at your stuff. So, were your parents supportive when you told them you wanted to be a breakdancer? Because that's tough.
Yeah, I mean, at first, like, I'm Latino, right? So Latin parents are strict and they're kind of tough. My mom,
Are
I
you
always say,
Cuban?
yeah, I'm
Are you
Cuban.
Cuban?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I always say like my mom, she deserves an MVP award because like she wasn't really like too strict about it, but she always like encouraged like, oh, you gotta make sure you gotta go to college and become a doctor or a lawyer or whatever the case may be. And
Right.
I remember like the day that everything kind of shifted. It was in ninth grade, and then once I hit like 12, I believe, I saw You Got Served. I don't know if you're familiar with that movie.
Of
Yeah,
course, yeah.
yeah.
It's so good.
I saw that movie and I was like, oh, that's it. Like, this is what I want to do, and like this is my career path. Like, this is really what I want to do. And I saw it with my best friend. His name is Fusion, and we grew up
Mhm.
together. And that day we just started dancing from there on.
Is that where Future Force Crew came about? Is that who you started with?
Um, Yeah, well, I started off again, like I said, with my best friend. It was two of us. It was Fusion and Wings, and
Mhm.
then I think like a year into me breaking, uh,
Mhm.
Future Force ended up picking me up, and they kind of mentored me, and they helped guide me, and take a positive route, and not allow me to get involved with things I shouldn't have gotten involved with within the breaking community. So they did a really good job with that.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, I don't even know, I didn't even know Miami had breakdance, like a breakdance community. I had no idea until I started looking at your stuff. So, were your parents supportive when you told them you wanted to be a breakdancer? Because that's tough.
Yeah, I mean, at first, like, I'm Latino, right? So Latin parents are strict and they're kind of tough. You know, my mom,
Are
I
you
always say,
Cuban?
yeah, I'm
Are you
Cuban.
Cuban?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I always say like my mom, she deserves an MVP award because like she wasn't really like too strict about it, but she always like encouraged like, oh, you know, you got to make sure you got to go to college and you know become a doctor or a lawyer or whatever the case may be. And you
Right.
know, I remember like the day that everything kind of shifted. It was in ninth grade where I was like, you know, until ninth grade, I was like, I'm gonna break, but I don't know how professional I'm gonna take it until I hit like ninth grade. When I hit ninth grade, I was like, all right, I'm taking this professional. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna become a sponsored athlete. I'm gonna win the Olympics. That was like my whole like process. That's what I was thinking the entire time. So I told my mom that. And I remember like telling my mom, and then of course that led to me wanting to be like, okay, well, I need to do homeschool, because I remember seeing like these little kids in like soccer leagues, going to homeschool, playing basketball, and they were on homeschool. So I'm like, okay, I guess that's what I had to do to be able to focus on solely breaking. And the only person that like vouched for me, standing right behind me, is my older brother. He's the
Awesome.
he's the only one that would tell my mom like just let him do it, you know, like he would see me work really hard, you know, and he really believed in me from the start. So he would tell my mom like, oh, you know, put him in homeschool, and then I wasn't doing so good like coming up in school, like it's because I just didn't want to. I wasn't a fan of it, and then
Right.
like for my ninth grade year, I remember I used to have just like D's and F's throughout my whole entire schooling. And my mom told
Uh-huh.
me that if I got her a report card with A's and B's, that she would let me do it. So I gave her a whole year of A's and B's.
Thank
She
you,
could vouch
brother.
for it.
Thank
Isn't
you
that right?
so
You gotta do
much.
it.
That's awesome. That's
A's,
awesome. So you did
yeah,
it just for breakdancing, and your mom said, "Okay, he's serious about it. Let
yeah,
me
yeah,
support it." Um,
exactly.
I've seen your post so much about your mom. Your mom has a huge impact in your life. I even read something that you said that your grind comes from your mom.
Yeah, for sure.
And I heard that you wanted to buy your mom her first house.
Yes, of course. I think that's every kid's dream.
Oh no, 100%, 100%, and I admire that. But we'll get into that later. Um, what was the first how do you say this? What was the first sponsor that you received while breakdancing? Like, was it Red Bull? Because I saw that you were posting a lot about Red Bull, and now you're in Monster. So who came first?
Yeah, so Red Bull never sponsored me. Yeah, they were never officially. They were just involved in the scene very heavily.
Mm-hmm.
They've been around for a very long time, so you know I got to give respect where respect is due. So they've been involved in the break community for years, and
Mm-hmm.
they were throwing a very prestigious competition at the time called BC One, Red Bull BC One,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and everybody wanted to be a part of it. That was like the biggest competition, and when I was coming up, that was like one of the competitions that I was like looking up. You get me? So when that competition came about, I was like, "Dang, like this is what I want to do." You know, like it. I saw like the best guys up on that stage, and I was like, "All right, if that's where they're at, that's where I want to go." So I was gunning for that competition for a very very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but after that, it was kind of like, you know, Red Bull isn't really my, I don't know. I didn't really like get along with the way that they worked or and just certain things. There was a lot of, I can't say that it was all bad, but there were some pretty amazing people in there and staff that definitely like were super supportive of me and specifically here, like the Miami area. So much love to them.
Mm-hmm.
I can't name them, but much love to them. And then
That's awesome.
I would say my first like real official sponsor, and it's funny. That's like the one I could mostly recall, but they're called Hip Hop Mindset. They're based out of
Looked for
Corona,
them.
California, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
and
saw that. I looked
man,
for them, but
yeah.
they don't have an Instagram anymore.
It's funny because they had an Instagram that got to like 100,000K. They were doing so good. They were like collaborating with Logic and a bunch of artists, and for some reason they got
That's
taken down.
awesome.
It's these two brothers. Um, and they were doing an amazing job. I mean, building up that brand. They actually flew me out. So that was the first time I ever got flown out by a sponsor. They flew me out to California. We took pictures, videos. We just got a bunch of content. And to me, that was a big deal, you know, because in my mind, I've always felt like I've been a lot older than my actual age. So when I was like 16, I was 21, 22. And I remember when they
Mhm.
first flew me out, like I remember turning to my boy, Fusion. We were still best friends to this day. I looked at him and I was like, man, if they believe it, anybody else is gonna believe it. So, and
Right.
I went like the extra mile for them, you know, like I'm a workaholic. So if you tell me to do something, like I'm gonna do that and 100 other things on top of that, you know. So
Yeah.
it was great, and I'm very big on like building relationships. So we've built a great relationship. To this day, I actually still work with them free, you know. So if I'm ever
Wow.
in Los Angeles, like I remember I was in Los Angeles for we had just won like the Super Bowl of breakdancing. We won a freestyle session. That's
Mhm.
like the Super Bowl for us, and we won it with Monster Energy. Um, and I was there, and they're only like an hour away or something like that. So I called them and I was like, "Hey, if you guys want to come and get footage," so they came down and we shot with the brand, and a couple of my boys that were with me there shot with the brand. So I'm always like the, you know, if you believe in me from the start, yeah, I'm always gonna be there. So yeah, they were like my
That's
first sponsor.
amazing.
Yeah, they've shown love since I was like 16.
That is beautiful. Shout out to them. That's so important. Community and who you trust and who do you still build with. That's extremely important. And when I think of breakdancing, I think a lot of hip hop. Were you a hip hop head? Are you a hip hop head? Did you grow up listening to hip hop?
Yeah, so I didn't necessarily grow up listening to like Wu-Tang and stuff like that. Like I just that wasn't what I was brought up around.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in like Little Havana. Like I grew up around Little Havana. So it was just a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of like hood kids. So all we would listen to was like Lil Wayne and stuff like that. So it was hip hop, you know, but it wasn't what people would
Right.
would think it is. People like I feel there's a big separation between old school hip hop and new school hip hop, where it's like you either listen to one or the other. I don't see a lot of
Yeah.
people who really mess with both. Me personally, I like both. Like I like both.
Uh-huh.
I'm the type that I like both. And honestly, I feel like there has to be room for evolution. You know, like if we stay dancing to the same tracks forever,
Right.
like there's
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing that's gonna move forward. You know, so I'm actually the one that'll actually break to like Lil Baby and then get down to those type of artists because it's different. You know, it's a different time, and I like both. You know, I'm a big Biggie fan. I'm a big Tupac fan. Black Thought, RZA, Method Man, like all those guys. I love listening to those guys, but sometimes I want to
But
listen to something else. You know.
right, you gotta give it a chance, and everybody gets inspired by everybody. That's just the fact. And what time do you wake up every day? Because I'm curious to know. I feel like you barely sleep.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's like the question for me. Everybody always asks that question.
Yeah,
It
I'm one
it
of them.
it fluctuates, you know. It depends. If I have a lot of things to do, I'll get up somewhere like around 3:30 in the morning. And the reason why I'll do that is just because everything's kind of paused. Um, owning businesses it's a lot. It's very time consuming, you know. So
Right.
I have a separate team for most of these. So like let's say my
Mm-hmm.
my my breaking business podcast.
Oh
Excuse me.
yeah, so good. I watched it. I was
Thank
watching
you.
Moy.
Yes, yes,
Oh, that guy was so
yeah,
inspirational, especially
yes.
because I think he might be around my age or something, but he mentioned some great stuff,
That's the man.
which
That's
I
that.
have questions about that too. So,
Yeah.
um, uh-huh.
So
Anyway,
so
breaking
so like
business. Oh wait, do you edit your own episodes? I feel like you
no.
do the editing too.
No,
No?
no, 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 no. I don't. I have a team that does that. Yeah. I mess around with editing for like our breaking school, me and my other
Mm-hmm.
friend Dougie. But that's the thing. I've learned to do everything, and it's really important that I'm very glad that I did that because nobody can really screw you over. So I push that. You know, I push that a lot. Learn how to do everything. I can do every single part of a business from cleaning it to CEO. Honestly. So
Amazing.
and
Amazing because it's really hard to find people you can rely on.
yeah, exactly. So, my dad and me and my dad built a relationship later on in my life. But he's, you know,
Mm-hmm.
he's done a good job, coming into my life, not like pretty recent. So he's the one that taught me that, he taught me that. And,
Wow.
I appreciate and I value him for that, because now looking back 2, 3 years back, I'm like, damn, like if I would have never done it that way, maybe it would have been a little bit harder for me. Maybe I wouldn't be able to kind of be so affirmative of of the decisions that I make, just because I maybe don't know how to run that position. But knowing how to run that.
Right. Oh, you went. No,
Good.
it's okay. Uh-huh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we're good. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I got a phone call. Um,
I
hold
figured.
on,
Okay.
hold on. I keep getting phone calls. Okay. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Can you hear me?
I think we got it now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So,
so. So you
yeah,
were talking about learning the business, knowing both sides. It's important
yeah.
because no one can screw you over.
Basically, so like I was saying, Breaking Business has like its own team. So I have to get certain things done for them and with them. And then Surgeon in Miami has its own team, and I gotta get certain things done with and for them too. And then I have a home gym, which is called Multi-Size Gym, that we sell, and then that has its own separate team and its own complete different work that it takes. And then I have
Mm-hmm.
Zeku, the brand. I have to also take care of this, whether it be Instagram or getting back to my followers and my supporters and stuff like that. Like I really take time to do that, because I think that's really important. Being able to
Mm-hmm.
build with the people who sit there and like, and it's crazy when you think about these people just sit there and like and share your stuff and wait for you to post. So
Yeah.
to me, it's really important. I appreciate it immensely. So I take time to really show love and kind of give back in that way. And then also I have the Latin tour that I have going on too, and everything's on
Yes, I'm so
pause.
excited. I'm
So
so
there's
excited for that.
yeah, so there's a lot
Talk
going
about it.
on. So the Latin tour came about when I came back from a BIS. It's a b-boy in Shanghai. It's a really big competition in Shanghai. It's hosted by Danny MZK, and their sponsor is Skechers, and they do, I mean, a beautiful production in Shanghai. It felt like a UFC event. I mean, they had a jumbotron. They had thousands of people in the crowd, and you're treated like an actual artist.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, you go to events, and ironically enough, the the dancers are treated the worst. It's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, like
Why?
it's just the way that they do it. For some reason, they don't really focus so much on dances, and it's just, I think, to me, it's because the dancers don't respect themselves. Like they
Mm.
don't ask for the respect. They don't demand the respect, so they don't get respect in the way it should be. Oh, look, this is my mom. Hi, mom. Hi.
Oh, mom, where's mom? Hi.
That's my mom.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So
beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Um, so I feel like they don't respect themselves. They don't respect themselves, and that'll allow for people not to respect you back. So the battle
Right.
in Shanghai definitely showcased a different side of breaking and how it should be ran. So
Mm-hmm.
big shout out to them. So once we did that event, it was a lump sum amount of cash. And me, I'm not really the type of person, like, I don't need all this money in my bank account just sitting there. I want to be able to make a difference. I want to be able to make an impact on the world. And coming from Latin roots, the first thing I thought of was, how do I give back to the Latin community? My
Mm-hmm.
mom actually swam from Cuba for freedom. Yeah, she swam to Guantanamo, like swam, like legit
That's
swam.
crazy.
So that right there kind of tells you, like, the lack of resources that people have,
That they
you
have.
know?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So once I thought about that, I was like, I think this is the time for me to be able to build an opportunity for the Latin America community. So once
To
we
give
did
back
that,
to them.
exactly. So basically, like, the summary of that was that we would host a free workshop, which is basically where I would teach dancers. We would do a free business panel slash discussion panel where I would teach them the ins and outs of how to be able to make money with breaking. It's not just
Mm-hmm.
shows. You can open up a school. You can
Mm-hmm.
start a podcast. I mean, you can start a clothing line. Like, all these things are very inexpensive. As you
Yeah.
build, of course, the more money, the more problems. So you will have to, But at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, it's very inexpensive. And then I would judge for free as well. of course, if I were to do this anywhere else, this is like a $2,500 value, $3,000 value for another place, you know. But I just felt somewhere in my heart like that's what I had to do. That's what I had to do, and basically we'll be going to all 20 countries completely free. I've been to
Wow.
Colombia, I've been to El Salvador, and we had Mexico in the works, but this
Mhm.
came about, Corona, and it kind of stopped it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was supposed to go somewhere else recently too. I was supposed to go to Argentina, and then it's crazy because I want to touch on this because I don't think I've been able to like really touch on it. But I was supposed
Let's
to go to
go.
Argentina. I was supposed to go
Wow.
to Argentina, and I'm very easy to work with. I'm not bougie. I don't really care. I know that these people don't have the resources, like I said, you know. So I understand.
Mhm.
I just need the basic hygiene. Like that's all I need. Honestly, that's all I need. I'm not a picky eater. Nothing. And long story short, because I don't want to bash on their organization either, but they made it very
Mhm.
difficult. They made it very difficult for me. They were booking tickets with my name incorrectly. I got to the airport. The airport was saying that they couldn't fly. I couldn't fly because my name was incorrect. They started asking me for money, and everything kind of got like real sketchy. And it sucked
No.
because it really sucked because I knew that at the end of the day, the person who was gonna get the most fire from it was gonna be me because
Mhm.
I'm the public figure, you know, and
Right.
I'm supposed to do as an artist and as a public figure, you're expected to always do what's right, you know, and
Right.
without people even knowing the backstory. So people didn't even really know what was going on, and
So it looks
it
like it was your fault.
yeah, and it really sucked. You know, I got a bunch of hate mail from it too. You know, like people really
That's
cursing me out because
crazy.
I didn't get on the plane. You know, I told them I was like I feel very uncomfortable uh getting on the plane. I feel very uncomfortable going through with the whole thing. I might get there, might not have a hotel or have a place to sleep
Exactly.
at. You know, and then
Yeah, it's very unsafe.
yeah, and then also I'm not the type of person that's like, oh, you know, just do me dirty, it's all good. Like, you know, I'm also a man at the end of the day, so I might land and we might not even be getting along from the moment I land. So
Right.
that's not gonna turn into anything good.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that sucked
That's
because I was
crazy.
doing this from a place of love, you know. I was doing this from like my
Yeah.
heart. To then receive that, it was kind of like, yeah, it made it a little tough.
Of course.
So
And yeah, I mean, I think that you made a great decision of not going because safety does come first. I mean, you're in another place, Argentina. I don't even know if you've ever been there.
no,
So it's
never.
like, who's gonna help you over there when you get there? And then they tell you, oh, you know what? Never mind. You know, you have to be safe first. And I saw that the logo for Seku for the tour is like Metallica. Did you make that choice, or did somebody do the logo for you?
So my two friends actually, I had told them like, hey, you know, I want to design a shirt. You know, I want to make it like a real tour. I want to have like merchandise. I want to make it like really, really official. And they were like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, well then let's make you some gear. And I was like, all right, cool, let's make the gear. So then I was like, okay, I want a T-shirt to look kind of like how Bad Bunny would do it, or how these artists do
Mm,
it, where they'll put like the list of the cities that they're actually going to be attending. And
right.
I was like, the only thing is, I don't know how to design a T-shirt. So my boy Fusion, this also, I'm very big on like I work with my people and my people only. So
Yeah.
it's crazy how it comes full circle, you know. So Fusion actually designed the T-shirt with Dre. I don't know if you know Dre. He's very
Dre.
he's really cool with I think you know Josh from Lord Knows.
Yes, I know Josh. Yes,
Okay,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. Well, they're really close. And that's how I was introduced
Mm-hmm.
to Josh. So they actually both came together in a collaborative effort, and they actually built the T-shirt. And they were like, "Hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that?" And we just kind of went back and forth with the design. And then
Mm-hmm.
finally, Dre was the one that was like, "Hey, why don't we try the Metallica style lettering?" And I was like, "All right, yeah,
I
let's do
love
it."
it. Mm-hmm. It's
And
so nice.
thank you. Yeah,
I
it
thought
came
it was
out.
because you like Metallica. So you don't like
No,
Metallica.
I mean, I don't
No.
know. I've never really jammed to the music, so I can't really say.
Oh, they're
Um,
good. Uh-huh.
but I'm pretty sure they're amazing in their own way, you know.
Yeah, they
But
are.
that's
I
how it
went to
came
see
about.
them. They're pretty good. That's awesome though, and I can't wait to see what's in store for it. I'm gonna read a quote,
Cool.
and you're gonna tell me who said it, and you're gonna tell me why.
Oh
Is that
snap.
good?
Oh snap. Let's go.
Okay. It says, "I've been homeless, broke, and with nothing on my plate. You really think this lockdown gonna stop me?
Oh
Please."
yeah, I know that guy.
I'm And it made me think of what you just said. You know, you had so many plans going on, and then this pandemic happened, but you're still working.
Hmm.
So, I know that you've been giving free classes for kids.
Yes.
Talk a little bit more about that. Like, do you enjoy teaching the youth? How does that work? Are you do you have plans for the
Yeah.
future to maybe build your own crew? Do you already have a crew?
Yeah. So, we like you had mentioned earlier, we own the facility Surge in Miami, which is
Mm-hmm.
a facility where we teach breaking and we also have MMA. And once this hit, of course, it's a lot easier to teach a kid. It's a lot harder to teach a kid digitally because you can't feel my passion. You can't feel how much I love to teach you. Like I think kids really gravitate towards us because they see our passion. Like I have two boys with me that their names are Nels and Doug, and they teach alongside with me, and they build the business alongside with me. And it's crazy how these kids really start to like just gravitate towards us in a way of like it goes further than the breaking. These kids come in earlier, 30 minutes earlier, to just come and hang out with us and just enjoy their time in the facility with us. So
Mm-hmm.
when this whole thing hit, this whole pandemic hit, we could have easily just shut down. We could have shut down. We could have closed the doors to the business and just do what everybody did, kind of hang out and kick it. And I
Right.
remember when it hit, the first day it was tough. The first day I was like, man, like what are we gonna do? How do we make this still work? And the very next day I was like, you know what? I don't have this enormous team. I don't have this extremely big team that knows everything about coding and everything about like digital setups and all that. And I was like, you know
Right.
what? I'm gonna build an online program. I'm gonna figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna build an online program. And I kid you not, from one day to the other, I have built an entire online program for kids to still continue to take classes with us and continue
Wow.
to grow and improve in their dance because these kids are home. Like it might be a little
Yeah.
different for us as adults. We can kind of hang out, chill. We're like,
Yeah.
finally, we could kick it. For
Yeah.
kids, it's like, what's the next thing? What am I gonna do? What do I do today? You know?
They get bored. I'm bored. I'm bored.
Yeah,
What am I gonna do now?
exactly.
Yeah.
So we ended up building the online program, and we know that everybody's financial standpoint right now is pretty difficult. So we wanted to at
Yeah.
least offer everybody their first free class, like the first class completely free. All you have to do is sign up and just give us a shot, and you get a free class and you get to keep the class. So whenever you want to go and review it, it's there. You have it. Um, we're not a take type of business. We believe in you give what you receive what you give. So we like to give, and
Yeah.
it's been amazing for us. We've had an amazing run. We continue to grow every single day. We're actually going to announce something very, very special that we're going to be doing for some underprivileged kids coming up
Oh
soon.
man.
Yeah,
I'm
so
so excited.
you're the
When are
first.
you gonna drop that?
We're planning to probably drop it next week. So basically, what we'll be doing is there'll be a sponsorship program available for kids where, if you want to just come and sponsor a kid, you can pay for his tuition and, you'll be able to meet the kid. The kid will send in a video as to why is that he wants to break? Why is it that he loves to break? What is it about Surgeon Miami that attracts him? Because you can go anywhere else, like you
Right.
can't really go anywhere else and break in Miami, but you can go anywhere else and dance or do any other sport. So to us, I think it's very important that we know their message, and I think it'll be amazing for the sponsor and the kid that's being sponsored to be able to connect on a personal level, so
Wow.
you're not just sponsoring a kid, you're changing a kid's life.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. That is so sweet to my ears, and especially because, in the world, a lot of things happen. There's a lot of temptation out there. There's drugs. There
Yes.
is, gangs. There's all these things. And I think by breakdancing or any art form, they're able to eliminate temptation and stay focused on something healthy. So that's amazing. I'm definitely going to let people know. And when you were younger, did you struggle with maybe things in your personal life that through breakdancing you were able, like that struggle, that through breakdancing you were able to focus on something else and give all your passion to that?
Sorry, it was cutting off. What'd you say?
Like when you were younger, did you went did you go through something similar where you were maybe struggling with emotions, with thoughts, I don't know, something in your life, and then breakdancing helped you get through it?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, like I said, I grew up in like a not so decent part of Miami. My mom did an amazing job, you know. She kept us very safe and she kept us we weren't ever in a state of like need, you know, like really, really bad. Yeah, there was
Right.
times, you know, where we did have to sleep in the car, where we had to sleep in family members' houses. And, you know, my mom
Wow.
my mom never like really broke down on us. My mom was always like the rock, you know, and to this day, that's where my grind comes from, you know. That's why I always say like my mom's gonna get it all. Um, but you know, my dad wasn't really in the picture with me growing up, so that's kind of tough, you know. It was my older brother. My older brother played the my dad
The
role
dad.
exactly. So, you know, you have all these emotions built up from like, you know,
Hi, somebody was calling you,
yeah.
maybe?
No,
Okay.
somebody just
Oh,
kicked
no?
me out for some reason. It just kicked me out for some reason.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's weird.
it's all good. So you know, you have all these like emotions built in and as a kid you don't really know how to express yourself. That's another reason why to me dance is so important, because as a kid you don't really know how to articulate yourself very well. So how do you
Yeah.
express yourself? Through movement, you know.
It's
So
so important.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I had all these emotions going on. I had all these emotions going on and I didn't know how to express it. So dance was what saved me and allowed me to express myself, whether I was happy, angry, sad. It allowed me to really really express myself, and I feel like that's why it's so important, because I could have gotten involved with a bunch of things that would have not led me down a positive road. But luckily,
Yeah.
I was able to keep my head on straight. I had my mom, I had my brother, and I had positive influences around me to keep me on the right path.
I love that so much, and I congratulate your, I mean, I applaud your mother because I know what that is. I also did that too. Well, like my mom, she's a
Yeah,
single mother, but she was always a soldier, grinds all the time, never gave me bad example, was always my rock. So
that's
I
awesome.
definitely know where you're coming from, and that's beautiful. Now we're gonna get into you recently. You were in Pitbull's video. How
Yes.
is your relationship with Pitbull? When did that start? It looks like, you guys have a personal relationship.
Yeah, so I went to he opened, Pitbull actually owns schools nationwide. I don't know if it's gone nationally, but I know nationwide he does. Uh, he has involvement in SLAM. It's sports leadership and management. And the first one that they
Mhm.
opened up was actually here in Little Havana, right next to the
Mhm.
Marlins Stadium. And I remember, like, for a long time, like, the only choices you had for high school really at that time was Miami High or Coral Gables. Like, you chose between those two schools, you know?
Right.
And I remember thinking, like, man, I don't know what school I really want to go to. Like, none of those schools really, like, catch my attention.
Right.
And then I was going to go to Miami High because my brother went to Miami High, and I was like, ah, whatever, I just go to Miami High.
Mhm.
Um, and then I hear that, you know, Pitbull's opening up a school. And I was like, oh, hold on, this can be an opportunity. Like, I remember thinking in the back of my mind, I was like, if he's going to open up this school, that means that one day he's going to show up at that school. I just got to
Oh.
make sure I plan that right day that he shows up. I don't care if I see him in the hallway. I'm going to just start dancing. Like, I don't care what I have to do.
Break dancing in front of him when
Yeah,
he's like walking towards the
ex-
bathroom.
exactly. So when the school started, they started up a dance team, and I got in the dance team, and I wanted to expand my arsenal of dance and get involved with like ballet, jazz, contemporary, like studio hip hop. So I started to just really expand in other arsenals of dance. And then they actually approached us and they were like, "Hey, would you guys like to?" Good.
Yes,
Oh,
sorry. I just noticed my dog peed.
oh no.
Wait, Zeku, can you come join me again because I cannot see you?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got
Is
you.
that okay?
I got you.
Perfect. Let's do it. Okay, let's join him. Let's see. I can't believe my dog just peed. I'm
Cool.
sorry.
No,
My
you're good.
dog peed
You're
and I
good.
couldn't see you at all. Okay.
Okay.
So
Um,
anyway.
So they had approached the dance team and said, "Hey, Armando is gonna come and be here for at the school." And then they were like, "And you guys might not know this, but it's gonna be his birthday, so we're gonna do like a surprise birthday party for him." And our instructor at that time, which was Coach E, she was like,
Mm-hmm.
"This is our time to shine." You know, she was really cool with us. Fusion was on the team with me as well, my best friend, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, she highlighted our breaking. You know, and I
Mm-hmm.
remember he was sitting down and like the intro was like me flipping over like basically the whole dance team. Like if they built like this like formation where I had to like flip over them. And I gotta
Mm-hmm.
find the video, but as soon as the music comes on, that's the first thing that happens. I flip over the entire dance team. And he gets up from his chair, he's like
What?
in awe, yeah. So we do
That's
that,
crazy.
we do the entire performance, and then my like one of my mentors throughout high school was my math teacher. His name is
Mm-hmm.
J.R. Rivera.
Mm-hmm.
He's a motivational speaker. He's a preacher to the youth, and I used to speak to him a lot, you know, and he helped me out a lot. He helped me like really stay focused and actually really pull through with my grades during ninth grade year. He helped me a lot, so big shout out to him.
That's
And
awesome.
he actually saw Pitt leaving from the side, and he grabbed me, and he goes, "Hey man, look, I want you to meet my student. He's a really good kid, and you know I think you should meet him." So as soon as I saw him, I was like, "Listen, man, I don't want a picture, I don't want an autograph, I want an opportunity." And he just looked at me, and he was like, "Hey, get his number," to his manager, and his manager got my number or whatever. From there, I never heard from him again, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
think like maybe 2 or 3 months later, he comes back into the school. We do another performance, and then when we do that performance, um, his assistant comes up to me, which is Priscilla, which is now my manager. She tells me, "Hey, would you want to go have lunch with us?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Okay, just call your mom." I was like, "I'm pretty sure my mom's not gonna care."
She's
I was like,
yeah.
"Let's go." So that was when I was able to first meet him face to face, and um, I want to keep our conversation private, but it was a great conversation. You know, it definitely motivated me, and I could see it in the way that he was speaking to me, that he truly believed in me, and we come from a very similar place, so it
Mm-hmm.
was kind of like meant to be in a sense, you know. And he helped me in a lot of ways. He actually sponsored me to go to a couple events that
Wow.
he didn't have to do that, you know. He believed in a young
Right.
kid from his same city, his same neighborhood, and he gave me an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity. And you know, now we built together. I'm actually under his label as a dancer, so I've
That's
never heard of that. So that's
awesome.
like a first
Never
time.
heard of that. Yeah, you
Yes,
did it though. Like you were brave enough to step up and say, "Look, I don't want a picture." That's very, very interesting. But just like give me a shot, and he did. And shout out to Pitbull. That's
he's a great
awesome.
guy. He's a great
That's
guy.
amazing that he did that for you. And now my next question is, do you go to the gym every day because you have to stay very healthy to do what you do?
Yeah. So I train every single day. As of recently, I actually took 7 days off for the first time ever. So I had never gone more than 2 days out of my like 5 years professionally dancing. I had never taken more than 2 days off, like ever. And
What?
I yeah, ever. And anyone on my team can like vouch for that. Yeah. I
How do you
love
handle your personal business then? Like personal, and I mean like relationships
yeah. That makes
or
it
stuff
tough.
like that.
It makes it a little tough. You know, it makes it a little
Yeah,
tough.
I can imagine. You
Yeah,
barely
yeah.
have any time, but that's good.
Yeah.
You're working hard to eventually
Yeah,
do
yeah.
what you gotta do.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. So
Okay.
it's definitely very time consuming, you know. And I think
Yeah.
like relationship wise, I think the right person will come along and kind of understand, you know, what it
Motivate
is. And
you,
yeah,
push
exactly,
you,
you know.
100%.
And vice versa, you know, as I should be for that person as well.
Mhm.
um but I think in this day and age, you know, it's really tough, you know. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't really party. It's just
Me
not
either.
it's not what I do. And I feel like this generation is really big into that. And you know, kudos to them. Like that's awesome for you guys, I guess, in a way. But that's just not my thing.
Right. That's good.
And it's weird, of course, me being 21, it's expected of me, you know. The life that people kind of see me live, you know, they see me traveling and having a good time. They're like, "Oh, this guy definitely, you know, gets involved with these things." And it's not, you know. I'm just blessed enough for this to be my life, you know. So
Yeah, but I think also sorry to cut you
No,
off, but
go,
I
no,
think
go.
also it has to do. I was just about to ask you that. You go to the gym, but what else do you do to stay
Yeah,
healthy? And I think that's exactly it. That's why you have so much energy and so much drive, because you're not distracted by the world, by
yeah,
drinking or hanging out or
yeah,
wasting
yeah,
time. You're
yeah,
getting it, and
yeah.
I admire. Like, that's awesome.
Thank you.
So
Yeah,
keep going.
I'm still like a normal kid, you know, like I still play Xbox and I stay up all night playing Xbox with my friends, or, you know, we'll
Right.
stay up all night watching stuff, or just being kids, you know.
Mhm.
Like, to me, there's so much more to life than those things, you know, and the society has built like this globe of just like this is all there is to offer. You know, you turn 21, you start to get involved with alcohol, you start going to the club, you rent out sections, you have a great time, you go home, you do it all over again. Like, there's so much more to the world. Like, the other day, me and my friend went out. Me and my friend Rodolfo, we actually went
Mhm.
out and did paddleboard.
You
Yeah,
know,
out in the
sorry,
ocean. Yeah,
Rodolfo.
yeah.
He went to my high school,
Oh, really?
A&M.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah,
saw that you knew him, and that's
yeah,
where I went because I went there for acting. That's awesome. I had
uh,
no idea. I just noticed that the other day.
yeah.
Anyway, you guys went where?
That's my homeboy. So we went paddleboarding. We were like on islands. We were slacklining. We came face to face with a shark. Like, we were exploring.
What?
Yeah, like, to me it's like those are the things I live for. You know, like that to
Mhm.
me is a life. You know, and everyone has their different ways of living it. I'm more of like the if it's not making my heart race, I don't want to do it. You know, I'm an adrenaline
I like
junkie.
them. That's
So
awesome.
I think there's other ways to live life, and I definitely live my life. I just live it in another way, and
Mhm.
I share it with the same people. You know, I'm not someone who likes to be surrounded by a lot of people. I like keeping my circle small. I like keeping my circle private. Um, Being a public figure, everybody kind of has access to your life, or feels the need to have access to your life. So I think,
Right.
to me, it's very important that my friends and my family do get a private side to it, you know, that not everybody gets to see and experience, because it's not fair at the end of the day, you know. I understand what I've signed up for, but I also know how to manage it very well. So
That's
that's pretty much
awesome.
it. Yeah.
Um, how many times have you hurt yourself breakdancing? Because
Oh
that's
man.
heavy stuff. Like, I feel like you can get hurt so easily.
Yeah. What's crazy is my injuries never really came from breaking. They came from me doing other things. Like, just yesterday, I kind of hurt my ankle. I think I probably like sprained it a little bit or something, but I'll be fine. But I have a broken finger, and that happened running. Like, so I have a
What?
yeah, so I have a torn meniscus, and in 2015 or 2016, I got hit by a truck when I was really young.
I
I was
saw
about to
that,
yeah,
and two people, you got hit, you got up,
yeah,
you went running, but then two
yeah,
people from AT&T
yeah. Kevin
went
and
to get
Joe.
the person. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. So
insane.
yeah, so when I got hit by that truck, I had a small tear in my meniscus. It was very small. It wasn't all that crazy. And I had me being a kid, you know, I didn't see the seriousness of it. And I got hit, and like the next day I was practicing again. I didn't let my body recover. Yeah, you know, I was on like I've been on a mission since I was a kid, you know, like there's no time to lose, and
Right,
nobody could tell
right.
me otherwise. And, you know, that just comes from being a kid and being immature,
Yeah,
you know. So
yeah.
like three practices, and after that I do like a backflip and I land, and my knee kind of like pops. I hear my knee pop, and then I had like a
Oof.
full torn meniscus. Yeah. And then I've been dealing
That,
with that. I was dealing with that for some time until I started to rehab it and take care of it. But that injury started to lead to other things, you know, like my I was rehabbing my knee, and
mhm.
again, being the person that I am, I was like, oh man, I'm good to go, I'm good to go. And then I went running, and we were doing, I mean, sprints, like going full blown fast. And my knee just kind of gave out on me, and I fell straight into the ground. And I went to put my hands down, and it was just so fast that somehow I broke my finger going down. Yeah. So, so
That is, you
yeah,
have 9 lives pretty much.
yeah. So I don't really get injured breaking, thankfully.
Mhm.
But doing other things, yeah, like I'll start like skateboarding and I'll fall and I'll get hurt. Like doing things that I'm not professional
That are
at.
not breakdancing, right? Like not breakdancing, but everything
Yeah,
else.
yeah,
Are you an actor as well? Because I saw that you took headshots with Chris Headshots.
yeah. He's actually in our crew. He actually used to break dance.
Oh, for real? Well,
Yeah.
I don't know him personally. He has taken a lot of my friends'
Mm,
headshots. I heard great things about him, that
yeah,
he's like one of the best headshot
yeah,
photographers in Miami.
definitely.
Um, so are you an actor as
Yeah.
well?
So I like to dabble in it. I actually have been a part of a short film where we reenacted like the Joker, Harley and Joker. You guys can check that out on my page.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I just thought that was like Halloween professionally, like you and your girl.
No, no, that was like a short film that I was a part of that they did, and it was really dope. And it was like my first time acting like on like fully.
Where
Be-
can we watch it? I want to watch it.
then it never came out. I wish it did, which sucked. All I have is that little clip.
Uh,
Yeah,
it
but
looked good. It looked
it
good.
was super cool. It was a really good experience. And then I did something small with I don't know if you know Jokes.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, he keeps putting things out.
Well,
He recently did something like about prison or something.
well, he had did something with Mark Wahlberg's nephew. It was called like I forgot what it was called. It's called like Sprayed or something. I don't know. I forgot what it was called.
Hmm.
But it was like a graffiti movie, and he gave me like one line. You know, it was pretty cool. It was a good opportunity. I had a blast, like just being on set and meeting people. So I do want to dabble more into that because I do like to act. But
That's good.
I
That's
definitely
good.
I need to find a way where I can still be able to compete because to be completely honest with you, like I don't really work for money. I work for what it is that I love to do, you know, and I feel like everything else kind of falls into place after that. So
Hmm.
battling is what I love to do. I mean, without that, it's gonna be very hard for me to function. Like I need that competitive spirit in me, you know. I love training. I love preparation. I love my injuries. I love, you know, being exhausted. Like all those things, I've come to love these things. So without them, it'll kind of feel a little weird. So I want to be able to do the two, you know?
That is very, very
Yeah.
inspiring, and I totally see it too. So that's why I asked you. I actually thought you were an actor for some reason, but you are. And are you planning on taking out a brand like a fashion brand? Oh no, I knew it.
With
Okay, okay.
time, with
With
time,
time.
with time, it'll come out, you know? I have something really special lined up. It has a really good meaning behind it. I take my time. As impatient as I sound, I'm actually very, very patient when it comes to things that I put out. Because once I put it out, it's staying
It's
out.
out
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
It's
and it's
in
staying out.
the world.
Yeah, and we're going in 100%. So definitely have a really, really dope brand coming out hopefully soon. I just know that this is not the right time. I'm juggling a lot right
Mm,
now. But
yeah,
yeah, of course, of course, of course, definitely.
that's
Yeah.
amazing. I have two last questions. I really had like 45 questions,
Let's go. What's up?
but
Good.
what advice do you give a young kid? Like, what do you usually tell the kids that you are teaching? Like, what's your advice on breakdancing in life? Like, what
Yeah.
do you tell them?
Breaking has taught me a lot because breaking takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of patience, and it takes for someone to have vision. You know, yeah, at least if you're someone like me, like if you're just breaking to break, then it doesn't really require a vision. You know, you kind of just do it for yourself, and that's awesome too. Because at the end of the day, it is an outlet, so you can utilize it however you like to. You know, for me, it was like, yeah, this is an outlet, but I want to be able to turn this into my career. I want to do this for the rest of my life. How I'm gonna be able to
Mm-hmm.
do that? By funding it. So I have to find a way to fund that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I tell these kids, you know, like if this is really what you love, you have to be able to sacrifice everything and everyone to be able to build yourself a secure path on this road because
Yeah.
it's not normal. What we do is not normal. It's for a long time it was seen as a street dance. It was seen as something negative, and now because of facilities like Surge in Miami or Moist facility in Houston, Break Free Worldwide, we've given it a positive outlook on hip hop as a whole. So parents now are actually more open to it. So
Mm.
it takes for someone to really have a vision and see what they want to do. I mean, from the beginning, I started breaking, like, I wanted to be the best. Like, that was just from the beginning. I was like, I know what I want to do. I want to be the best in the world. I want to travel the world. That's just what I wanted to do from the beginning. So I tell kids, figure it out what it is that you want to do with this dance. You don't have to be competitive. Maybe you want to get into Cirque du Soleil. Maybe you want to be on the big screen. There's a lot of breakers who are just Hollywood. They don't compete at all, and they're just Hollywood. There's so many different avenues that you can take with this dance, and it just takes for someone again to be a visionary.
Right, 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 right. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And someone just said, Seku, I got in your school online.
Oh,
That's awesome. I really love that you're doing that online. So many people are doing that. And what was the other question? How did it feel to, I don't know if you remember this, to buy your first car
mm. Wait,
from
before I
breaking?
answer that, this is actually one of the kids right here. You see, FFC Doug. He's actually he's
Yes.
one of the kids that helps build the facility. He's like up and coming. He's a beast. I mean, whoever's on here, if you guys don't already follow him, make sure you guys go check him out. The other kid right now too, Brandon, another upcoming
Brenton.
kid from Miami. These kids are like really, really putting their true hard work and soul into what it is that we call breaking, and they're doing amazing things in the community. We're not just building them to be winners, but we're building them to be leaders and be inspiration to the community, and inspire kids their age. They're both 16, 17, so they're young.
Wow.
They're young kids, and they're doing amazing. So
Wow.
big shout
Shout
out to
out
them.
to Doug and Brandon. That is
Yeah.
awesome. Definitely gonna check it out. And I pretty much, now that I see, I mean, the face of Doug, I think I've seen him in some of your videos.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, my
So
dog
buying the
wants
first
to say
car.
hi. I'm kidding.
What's up?
Oh yeah, buying the first car. How was that?
Yeah. So that was cool. I was like 16 years old, and
Wow.
I'm not like I would say I'm like in between, like I do like my nice things, but there's not really like a need for it. But as a kid, like I always wanted a convertible car. Like I was like, I need to have a convertible car. Like that's gonna be my first car, and I made it that way because it would make me work harder. I could have just saved
Mm-hmm.
up and bought like a 1998 Toyota Corolla or something like that and just been whipping it, and I would have been happy with it. There's no problem with that. But
Right.
it probably wouldn't have taken me as much work to get that. If I want a
Mm-hmm.
convertible BMW as my first car at 16 years old, I'm gonna have to do some work, to really get that car.
Hard
So,
work.
so to me, it was more of like proving that I can do this for myself. It wasn't for anyone else but myself. And
Mm-hmm.
um and yeah, that was really cool because I was able to do it, and I was able I remember like sitting in it for the first time, and I was like, man, I could have I could have done some illegal things to get this car, and I did this through. Once I bought that, it was like a milestone. I was like, if I can get myself this car through breakdancing, like people don't
Wow.
understand, like people think breakdancing and they think of it as the bottom of the barrel. And I've always seen breaking as such an amazing thing that needed to be showcased on the biggest of the biggest platforms. And I remember seeing it and be like, if breaking got me this, breaking can get me anything. I can get myself anything just doing what I love. So,
Right.
that ties down.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, so that ended up leading to actually being able to give my mom money to buy her own house, like through breaking alone. Like that to me is insane. And you would
That's
have
crazy.
you would have told my mom. I remember telling my mom, like, Mom, I'm gonna get you a house doing this. And like her expression towards me, she was like, of course you are. But inside she's like, all right, dude, like, come on, hurry up, figure this
Yeah.
out, and pick a career already, because I'm not trying to deal with this forever.
Yeah, like okay.
Um, exactly. So that was actually that was a really big milestone for me, just not because of the car, but because of what it represented. I set a goal.
No, and I love the fact that, I hope that people are listening to this right now, and I'm going to leave this and I'm going to post this eventually,
Cool.
that they know that it is possible because, you're a great example, especially for the youth,
Thank
and I
you.
love that
Thank
and
you.
I admire that and I applaud that. I wanted to ask you also, like, can you tell No, first, do you choreograph your own combos? Like, do
Yeah,
you do your own stuff?
yeah. If you don't, it's like let's say you were to take somebody's combo, that's a really big no-no. It's a really big no-no.
Right? And you
Yeah,
can
really big
tell.
no-no. Yeah, you can tell. It's a really big no-no.
That's scary. That's
Yeah.
scary. Um, do you Okay, so that's what I was gonna ask. I'm sorry, it's just so
No,
many
you're
questions
good.
that I
You're
was gonna
good.
ask and I totally forgot.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, so you do your own choreography, and do you invent new choreography like often, or how do you
Yeah.
do that? How does that work?
So so at least for me, I'm very big on like once I'm doing something for a certain amount of time,
Mm-hmm.
you it that's why to me this is a sport, you know? It's a sport and it's an art at the same time. But
Right,
when you're in the battlefield, when you're competing, it's definitely more of a sport because it starts to become a mental thing. It starts you have to strategize. You have to be able to find holes in people's dance to be able to capitalize off of that while you're actually competing. And this is all in a
right.
matter of seconds, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
if somebody comes out there and does a combo that they've been doing since like 2008, all I have to see is the beginning of it, and I already know what's coming. So in those like
Wow.
20 seconds that he's completing his round, I'm actually planning on how can I one up him, you know? So if he's doing a
Right.
combo that I already know he's gonna do in my mind, I'm planning on how to up that combo right now. If I compete against somebody that I've never seen, which is actually tough when you're actually like one of the high level breakers in what we do, because I was explaining this to my boys the other day. It was like when you're high level, everybody in the bracket is going, all I need to do is get past Zeku. That's all they're thinking.
Mm.
Nobody's even thinking about
Mm-hmm.
winning, which is crazy because I was
Right.
that kid. I remember being in brackets with these big guys and being like, I'm not here to win. I'm here to take out that guy. So
Wow.
everybody's saving their strongest round to take you out. So that means that you can't have a weak round. You have to
Mm-hmm.
have a strong round for everyone, you know? And if you can predict my rounds, then that's a problem, you know? I have to be unpredictable. So it makes it a lot tougher as you go up in the rankings, you know? And that's why a lot of breakers do fall off because they think, oh, I'm the best, you know? People are scared of me. People are not really going to, yeah, right. I'm thinking whoever's in front of me is coming to take my head off. Ain't nobody here going to
Right.
spare me a chance. You know, everybody's trying to get their own, you know, and much respect to everybody. And that's why I love what I do because it's so
Wow.
competitive. It to me, I breathe in that environment. I love it. I truly do. And I applaud everyone who steps up to the plate and competes against some of the best. And I think that's amazing.
Wow, so you really prep for it. You literally study everybody's
Yeah.
break and
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
think of
yeah.
how you can come back at them, and that's insane. That's amazing. And um, can you tell if somebody's from Florida by their breaking or
Yes.
from New York or LA?
Yes.
You can
Yes.
tell?
Yes.
That's
It's crazy.
crazy. How?
Yeah. It's just the style, the finesse in someone's dance, you know, the way they approach it. They'll do more of one thing, and then another city will do more of another aspect of breaking, you know, like Vegas is known for like doing threads, which is a certain move in breaking, right? And then Florida is really known for its like aggressive, raw, very fresh, you know, like that's what Florida is known for. And then New York has like two different things. New York has like a street performer dance style, but then they also have like a very true to the essence of breaking way of getting down. So everyone has their own way of getting down. Like Europe has a very Europe's very smooth and they flow. I mean like an insane amount. It's just super smooth. So you kind of know where these people come from, or you have somewhat of an idea of where these people come from just by them getting down. It's a universal language, you know? So it's crazy how
Yeah,
some of these people don't even speak the same language and they're having these amazing and beautiful conversations by just interacting through dance and music.
through dance.
So yeah.
You've
When I
been through
sit here and like talk about breaking, it just makes me fall in love with it even more because it's so crazy. It's so
Yeah, no,
crazy.
your passion is transparent and it makes me want to go watch Wild Style again and go from the beginning of breakdancing and see what's up. That's really cool. We have 2 minutes
Yeah.
left, less than that. The last question I wanted to ask you was you've been through so many cities. It's insane. You've been through so many places. What has been your favorite one and which one do you want to go to next?
Oh, that's tough. Um, I would say I really, really, really enjoyed Amsterdam just because I was with my friends, and I was up and coming at one point, and then when I came back, I was already a top level breaker. So I saw both
Mm,
sides, you know, where I was treated very amazing from the organization, and then I was also on the side of like the organization didn't know who I was. They questioned me at the door. So like
wow.
it it's definitely one of my favorite cities. So I love Amsterdam,
Amsterdam.
and yeah, I think I would like to go to like Dubai or something like that next. Yeah, that'd be
Oh,
dope.
that's a
That'd be really
good
dope.
one.
Yeah, but I
That
love
would
every
be really
country.
dope.
Yeah, I love every country. I love every city. I love all of it. So most definitely.
That is awesome. Thank you for sharing with
No,
me.
thank
Thank you
you.
for talking with me and, giving me all this insight. And I'm really looking forward to what's next for the tour, for
Thank
the
you.
fashion, for everything, and the acting as well. I can't wait to see you act as well. You have so much going on. Don't stop. Keep moving forward. You got what it takes. You have
Thank you.
heart, you have talent, and you have drive.